Hey guys, Desolate Magic here, and it's time to continue the three-part video about cheaters and other shady stuff and scumbags and mistakes and bad rulings and you name it, just general awfulness at the Pro Tour in Dublin. Let's jump right into it. So far, one cheater caught, one cheater pending, I guess you could say, as far as I know. I don't know, Wizards hasn't released a statement that I saw. Is that the end of it? Take a guess. This is a European Pro Tour. Take a freaking guess if that's the end of it. Hell no. I mean, besides the fact that mathematically there's probably another 1 to 200 people that just didn't get caught cheating. I might return to that math at the end of the video if you want me to prove it. Another person sort of caught cheating-ish. Mostly it's just the judge being an idiot and being completely and utterly wrong. And of course his opponent, who is a known just terrible person, complete snake, he went along with it and I think actually technically caused it. And then even worse, the whole thing was basically because of a language barrier. So that's friendly. So let's read Wizard's statement about this, where they double down to make absolutely sure that every last person knows that they were completely and utterly wrong. Seriously, they're doubling down on a judge not doing his job. Like, there's no two ways about it. So Scott Larrabee, whoever the hell that is, wrote this, I guess. I don't know. Doesn't really say he wrote it, but his face is on the top, so let's go with it. In round 8 of Pro Tour Aether Revolt, an incident occurred in which the active player indicated that they were entering combat and passed priority. By the way, no, that is not what happened. The opponent passed priority back. Or maybe that's the part that didn't happen. Whatever. Depends who they're referring to. At which time the active player attempted to crew a vehicle and resolve a trigger with a target, Weldfast Engineer. Now here's where they snake their way out of this. It was ruled that through the player's actions, they were in the declare attacker step. No, they weren't. And were unable to perform the actions that the active player wished. That is not true. That is a lie. That is a falsehood. That is not what happened. I can't really phrase it any more ways. They are lying. Wizards is outright lying. Scott Larrabee is lying. At the very least, they're stating it as fact. It is an opinion, and it's a wrong opinion. They are completely incorrect about that. The article goes on to lie. This is a correct interpretation of the Magic Tournament Rules, Section 4.2, which deals with shortcuts. A statement such as, "I'm ready for combat," or "declare attackers?" offers to keep passing priority until an opponent has priority in the beginning of combat step. That's not even phrased correctly. Opponents are assumed to be acting then unless they specify otherwise. The whole article, the whole situation, and the whole explanation is a load of crap, just in case you haven't caught on to that yet. The intricacies of communication around the combat step are complex. No, they aren't. And it's important to protect the non-active player from ambiguity in communication that can be exploited by the active player. FYI, one of them spoke primarily Spanish and barely spoke English. That, for some reason, is allowed at the tournaments. I mean, yeah, it's an international tournament. It's not even in America, but I mean, either do or don't, Wizards. Either do say you have to be flawlessly fluent in English to the point where you can, understand the name of every phase and the name of everything an opponent would reasonably say during a game, or don't show up. Or they got to say, okay, we'll provide you with a translator, or we'll give you some leeway if you think you misspoke in English because it's not your first language. They got to choose one or the other. They're basically letting in a non-primary English speaker into the tournament and then punishing him for it, basically. That's the way I see it, at least, and that's just idiotic. Although, I should say, what he said in English was completely proper. The judge is an idiot, and he's wrong. When you say combat, that means start of combat, not start of declare attackers. That does not mean shortcuts, you're shortcutting to declare attackers. No, combat means, are we proceeding to the combat phase? Pass priority, would you like to do that? That's what it means. I mean, like I said, the judge is just wrong. He's outright wrong. Now, I should add one little catch here. I don't think that on the stream, from what I could gather, that you could clearly hear specifically what he said, but the consensus seems to be, from people who know, so the rumor is he just said, go to combat or something like that. I don't think that he literally said, let's go to declare attackers phase or anything, clear as day like that. So I don't know for sure what he said, but everybody seems to be on the same page that it wasn't something that implied he was skipping the start of combat phase. Even if he did, he doesn't speak very good English, so it really doesn't even matter. If his opponent had a question about what phase he intended to enter because of a language barrier, maybe he should ask. In fact, I'm not sure that that's not a rule. So this is all just massively crooked and messed up. I mean, I kind of get it. I can kind of see both sides, but it's very clear what his intent was on this one. He did not miss anything. He did not intend to back up a phase. Okay, that's not what happened. Now, for absolute fairness, let's hit this from every angle. Why would he have called over a judge if he made it blatantly clear that they were not skipping the beginning of combat? Maybe Cesar did say something that indicated to him, in his opinion, or with some rules lawyery terminology thing that he was aware of or something. Somehow he got the impression that they should have been skipping the start of combat and then it was too late for the trigger. Because, I mean, it's either that or what's the other option? He said, oh, let's go to the start of combat. And the guy's like, Judge, he clearly meant to skip over the start of combat. Like, what even is that? For all he knows, the audio was perfectly clear on the stream. I mean, like I said, I couldn't hear it, but, if it's all being recorded, you're not going to try to BS somebody that hard. Except for the guy in the last video that's holding 8 cards and counting them out 4 times directly showing the camera. I mean, some people are dumb like that. Okay, second piece of evidence in Nguyen's favor is he was rather apologetic later on Reddit or somewhere. He did not take it very well, and he's not very happy with the people calling him out on it. Okay, that's not really evidence. That's more just like an update. I mean, nowhere in it did I see something that implied, oh, I did nothing wrong. Now, that was not part of it. So he didn't apologize. He didn't admit anything, but he also didn't claim that he didn't do anything wrong. So I don't know. This is all really sketchy, and that's what bugs me. I mean, it's not nearly as clear as, hey, look, here's 8 cards in my hand. I'm counting them 4 times. Okay, that's crystal freaking clear. This one, a little bit muddier. So I don't know. I really shouldn't be going that hard on the guy, but, and this is an enormous but, I think it's pretty damn clear that Cesar did not intend to skip that trigger. He knowingly wanted to go to the start of combat. He knew exactly what was going on, and his opponent knew exactly what his intentions were, but because of some little legal loophole that maybe he thought he could get away with the judge, he would, weasel his way out of it. And that is exactly what happened, and that I don't approve of. And that's pretty clear on camera that that's what happened. So at the end of the day, who do I think is wrong? Not Cesar. The funny thing is, at the end of the article, it says, our tournament rules are always under review and revision, and we will be examining this rule further after the event. Well, unfortunately, that rule isn't relevant to the situation at all, and you're still wrong. So I'd say just fire the judge, actually. So this whole situation was when Cesar Segovia, take a guess if he's the one that cheated, the way I pronounce that, versus, I'm sure it's Thien Nguyen, but let's go with Thien Nguyen. So Mr. T, that would be way too cool of a nickname. Mr. Nguyen, I'm not kidding, that actually is pronounced Nguyen. Mr. Nguyen decided to take advantage of a complete load of crap that isn't even true. Very ironic that he's got some kind of seeming non-profit maybe as a sponsor on his shirt, although they're a .com address, not .org, which is suspicious. That's all I care to look into it. Everybody's saying, write to a sponsor. Tell him to get rid of this cheating piece of garbage, especially since there's a bit of a racist overtone to what he did. So this is Mr. Nguyen being a dick and pointing out some nonsense that didn't actually happen. This is Cesar getting pretty pissed off, probably. Actually, he looks a lot less pissed than I would be. I actually would be halfway over the table beating my opponent halfway to death at that point. Probably would have started with the judge, though. I probably would have knocked him out first. Somebody who tries to cheat me out of thousands of dollars might as well, I equate that to robbing me. So yeah, I'd get up and knock both of them the hell out. This is why I don't go to pro tours. I believe this screenshot is, the guy in the background of the audience is basically me at this point. And I believe he's telling him to take that card and shove it. Now see, here's what Wizards is claiming. According to their official statement, which, keep in mind, is a load of crap, by current rules, announcing combat is considered to be proposing a shortcut to skip to attacker declaration. No, it is not, never has been, never will be. Now, keeping in mind, once again, we don't know specifically what he said because I just couldn't hear it on the stream, but then again, I don't have very good hearing. It's pretty damn clear that he did not say, hey, let's proceed directly to the attack phase. I'm skipping beginning of combat. Oh, wait, no, I had a beginning of combat trigger that I missed. Oops. Okay, that's not what he said. So Wizards is trying to make it out that whatever he said implied that they were skipping a phase, that it was a shortcut trigger word, and Cesar seems to have a problem with that. Considering he's the one who said whatever the hell he said, I'm going to take his word for it. Nowhere in the rules does it say that the word combat with a question mark after it means let's go to declare attackers. Declare attackers question mark would be, hey, I don't have anything to do during the start of combat. Would you like to proceed to declare attackers? I mean, that's how we play it at FNM. Go to combat, let's start combat. Do you want to start combat? That all means go to start of combat. If by some miracle, and God knows I'm not going to go look it up, it literally says that the word combat is some kind of magic portal generator that instantly teleports you past the start of combat, which, by the way, is also against the rules. You cannot skip phases. I mean, okay, shortcuts, I get it, whatever, but still. If it does say that, then as an English speaker, I'm confused. Para ellos quien se habla español, oh my God, would that be confusing as crap. But if English speakers find it confusing, yeah, I don't think the Spanish dudes are going to quite follow why the hell they were saying that he was skipping a phase, which he clearly did not intend to do. So the whole problem is one of his cards, World-Fast Engineer, has an activated ability or triggered ability, whatever, that says at the beginning of combat on your turn. So that's why he said, let's go to combat. He didn't miss the trigger. He just didn't. He never intended to. He saw it coming, clear as frickin' day. Now, the funny thing is, Mr. Nguyen actually lost to Segovia, which is freaking hilarious, and Segovia went 8-0. Oh, by the way, this is his first pro tour ever. Bienvenidos, hope you had fun at your first pro tour. So since, there's about a 95% chance that the judge is just an idiot and Wizards is covering for him, or there's a 5% chance that the rules were completely written incorrectly by an idiot who doesn't even have a basic grasp on how Magic works or the language that players use. In either case, how is it Nguyen's fault? I feel so stupid mispronouncing that on purpose when I actually know how to pronounce it, but you guys get it. It's a thing. Because he was like, oh yeah, he totally missed that trigger. That was clearly his intent. I totally wasn't sitting here watching something completely different and I'm now lying about it. No, in no way is that the case. You rules lawyering, lying, scummy piece of crap. You lost anyway. You deserve it. I hope they retroactively kick you out of the tournament, but I think Wizards is kind of, hastily brushing this one under the rug. Now, Cesar was like, what the hell? Like, I don't even understand your ruling, and I heard every word you said. So just to get a better grasp on it, he very politely requested that he talk to the Spanish-speaking judge. They went and got him and then cut away the camera because I'm sure they were embarrassed enough at that point. Now, what he said was like, can I speak to the Spanish judge? But what he was thinking was probably like, Eres el diablo, ¿de qué estás hablando, perra estúpida? You might not want to translate that. Y también tome sus reglas de mierda y empujarles hasta su culo. God, my Spanish sucks. No hay de menos nada. Esta es caca. But he was actually in reality a little bit more chill than that. And then he won anyway, which is freaking hilarious. Eat it, Thien Nguyen. Oh, shoot, I pronounced it correctly. Oh, I should have been calling him Tien Shinhan this whole time. That would have been freaking awesome. It's even more ironic because he's not remotely in shape. Well, that's all the recorded provable accounts of cheating that we've seen so far. I guess I'd wait a week, honestly, just to be safe. I might have to make this a playlist. I might have to make this an entire series, actually. Now, like I said at the beginning, mathematically, if somebody is 3 times as likely to cheat off camera as on camera, which honestly it's probably 10 times, we'll just say 3 times, then you compare it to the number of players at the tournament versus the number of total players who were shown on live stream, you get approximately just about everybody at the tournament was cheating. Oh, you're just kidding, but it would be over 100. I mean, it's not like I actually counted the people, but it's a lot. It's a boatload. And the funny thing is, it's almost all people who are notorious for being shady players and cheating in the past. So, not that hard to find them. I would dedicate a judge to each one of these people, which is actually, by the way, how they caught Fabrizio. They purposely planted a judge to spy on just him, and in his very first round, he was disqualified. That's how you handle stuff, Wizards, okay? Not have a judge completely cock it all up and then like cover it so he doesn't lose his job. Ban the player, fire the judge, clean it up. Simple. So that's it for the second major event that happened at the Pro Tour, but there's a part 3 to this video. So stay tuned for the grand finale, which, by the way, is by far the rudest of the 3 videos. So if you don't like negativity, please go to your safe space and don't watch the next video. You know why it's so extra spicy? It involves me. No, I wasn't in Ireland. I told you guys, I don't even have a damn passport. But I'm taking this next one very personally, so yeah, the next part's a little aggressive. Just a little bit. Just a tiny little bit. So stay tuned for that one if you do want to hear about it. I don't know why I'm referring to analog frequency divisional multiplexing, which isn't even used by televisions anymore, but stay tuned anyway. Tuned to which frequency? I don't know. The metaphor fell apart. See you guys next video.